Well folks, welcome back to another video. As you can see, it's turned a bit chilly up at the small holding and there's a good covering of snow on the ground. And today we're going to be reviewing a little kit I've put together based around a Trangia small mess tin copy. So without further ado, I'll change the camera angle. The dogs are enjoying playing in the snow and we'll have a look at what's in it, shall we? So folks, let's have a look what's in this kit. So this outer mess tin is basically an exact copy of the Trangia one I've got. I've had a comparison of them side by side. It's exactly the same size. The only thing I will say is on the Trangia, the lid is a little difficult to get on and off, whereas this one seems a really perfect fit. There's no slop in it when it's on, but it's really easy to get off. And with me playing with the lid, you've probably seen a sneak preview of what's inside. So inside we have a new meth burner. I haven't lit this, I haven't tried this, so we're going to do that for the first time today. And this is what made me put the kit together: a tiny little one-person kettle, designed for the mess tin, and a really lightweight 3-piece windbreak / pot stand to go with the meth burner. So that's everything in the kit. So without further ado, we'll get this put together and see if we can get the actual meth stove to light. It is very cold today. It's hovering around 1-2 degrees. So to put the windshield together, it is as easy as just, they've got like little dovetail sections on each end and they just all go together, and once they're in position they hold into a triangle form. It's not very sturdy. I wouldn't want to put anything massively heavy on there, but it will do a job. And then the actual burner just sits in the middle like so. So I'll just go and grab some meths and we'll get this baby lit, shall we? Right then folks, so I'm back. I've put a bit of meths in this. In all honesty, I'm probably going to struggle to light it because it's been in the barn overnight, so the meths in the bottle is really cold. But we'll see how we go. It takes a surprisingly small amount of meths to fill this, and when I opened it up I did notice that there is a silicone seal around the actual lid. So when you screw the lid down, it does look as though it will make a seal adequate enough for you to be able to carry meths in it, but I haven't tried it, so I won't swear to that. So let's see if we can get this baby lit. Oh yeah, she's lit. It's going to take a while to warm up, and it won't help the fact that it's actually sat. I'll actually put it on its lid to lift it up off of this ice and see if that'll help it gain a bit of heat. It's burning. I don't know what to expect in terms of a bloom, but we'll give that a short while just to warm up, and we'll put a bit of water in the kettle, shall we? We'll get the wind shield on it because it is slightly windy. So we have got, so in this there is exactly 1 litre, so I'll fill the kettle and we'll see how much it holds. So there we go, that's up to the spout. That's just over 250 millilitres, so it really is a genuine 1 cup kettle. We are starting to get some bloom on there, so we'll pop the kettle on top. It's quite stable. I don't think we're in danger of it toppling off in wind or anything, and I'll just have a look at what time it is and we'll see how long this baby takes to boil. So I'm not going to sit there and make you watch water boil. I'll catch you up later when it's approaching a bit of heat. So just another quick update for you folks. We just had a little bit of an incident off camera when I turned it off. As it got warm, the dovetail sections, which I'll show you at the end when I disassemble it, actually gave way and the kettle fell over. So I've had to slightly bend over the little dovetail tabs on the corners to hold it and put the kettle on in a different direction. So just in the interest of consistency, I did empty the kettle and refill it again with cold water, blew out the mess burner and started again. And I have found that actually putting the kettle on in this orientation, so as you're actually going all the way across the kettle like so, gives it a bit more stability. I must admit there's a breeze today. It's not the strongest breeze, but it's moderate, I would say, and you can probably hear from the roar it's not the most effective windbreak ever, but the minute the windbreak wasn't around the mess burner, it actually blew the mess burner out. So whether that's because I've got the mess burner raised up on its lid, which is making it more susceptible to the actual breeze, or whether it's a poor design, I'll have to find out in future burns. What I might do actually is just very quickly just take that, slide that off its lid. Now you can see the tabs, how I've bent them over, just to give them a bit more stability, and you can see how easy it comes apart, because the second I lifted it off, and there you go, you see it's strong enough that it's actually blown out the stove again. I must say, yeah, first impressions are not overly great for this setup, but we shall see. So we'll get that relit. So it is actually strong enough to blow out the stove. There you go. So I think we're on to an epic fail for this windbreak, if I'm honest with you folks. You can see how bad it is, and it is just a cheap one off Amazon. It's nothing particularly special. Let's see if I bend them, see if that'll make it better. It is just a cheap one off Amazon. It actually came as a kit with the burner. And I wasn't holding out a great deal of hope for it, because there's never been a more truism in this world than you get what you pay for. And in total, this whole kit, the mess tin, the kettle, the stove, the windshield, well, that's made it a lot more stable, is sub £30. So it's not the most expensive setup you'll ever see, but that has made it a lot more stable. And with the burner actually being down at the level it's supposed to be at, it seems to be less susceptible to the wind. Anyway folks, I'll catch you up later if there's any more developments, or we actually manage to get the water to come to the boil. See you in a bit. So folks, here we are. We've managed to achieve a rolling boil. I can confirm that both handles are still lovely and cool to the touch, easy to use. I did have to add some more meths to it. One fill isn't enough to boil 250 millilitres of water, which is quite disappointing. Will the lid act as a snub? Yep, perfectly adequate at that. Yeah, there's very little left of the actual second boil. There you go, you can see there's very little left in there. So yeah, impressions. As I said, you get what you pay for. I believe this kit, the windshield and the actual little meths cooker, was around the sort of £9 something mark, so very cheap. Loads of different options on Amazon of the same thing over and over, just with a different name on it. The mess tin and kettle came as one unit, designed to be used in conjunction, and that was I want to say that was £20, but again, loads of different options on Amazon, all exactly the same but different branding on them. As a Trangia triangle alternative, which is what I was looking at it as, the windshield, well, I won't say it's useless because it's actually managed to boil some water, but it's not the most stable thing you will ever come across. And as you can see, I did have to do a few modifications and bend the tabs up, and then for storage you'll just have to bend them back. How many times you'll get away with doing that before it actually fractures, I'm not sure, but it did do its job, and once I'd bent those, it was stable enough for me to use it with confidence outside. I would not for 1 second use that inside a tent. In terms of meths, the meth stove, no, it's literally just burning meth. I will put a bit more in, and seal the lid and just see if it is liquid tight. In terms of meth stove, if it won't boil 250 millilitres of water with one filling, to me it's absolutely pointless. At least it is watertight, so you could fill it and use it, but as I said, you still have to carry extra meth for the second filling just to boil 1 cup of water. So the feature works, but it's a pointless feature because you're going to have to carry extra meth anyway. So that's the stove dealt with. In terms of the kettle and the mess tin, having done a good side-by-side comparison of this at home with the Trangia one I've got, I'm struggling to see any real differences in them, apart from the better lid fit on this one. Very impressed with this, if I'm honest with you. The gauge of the aluminium seems about the same. I don't know whether the quality of the aluminium is the same, but the gauging seems to be exactly the same. And the kettle, the fact that it will boil enough for 1 person, is a really nice feature if that's all you're wanting to do. Go out and carry a small kit with you. Maybe warm up a meal, make a brew alongside a Trangia triangle and a Trangia burner or a small gas burner. Yeah, absolutely faultless as far as I can see. The lid does rattle a bit while it's boiling, but it's only there to keep the heat in. It's not to seal it against anything. So I'll change the camera angle and we'll have a summary. Oh, time for the summary, folks. Oh, I'm sure it's getting colder. We'll just get rid of the water. So, in summary, partial success. I'm really impressed with the kettle and mess tin, and I would quite happily use those again. I'll just pack everything away. I would quite happily use those again. In terms of the stove, I'm pretty sure that's going to be consigned to the just in case drawer. I won't say I'll never use it again, but I can't see why I would pick it over any of the other stoves I've got. In terms of, if we put this in a format everybody will understand, in terms of reviewing them on Amazon, 4 or 5 stars for the kettle and the mess tin. In terms of the stove, 1, 2 at best. It's not something I would recommend anybody buy, the stove, but yeah, if you're looking for a cheaper alternative to the Trangia mess tins, all day long, that, as far as I can see, there's no discernible difference between the two. So we'll wrap this up now, folks, and I'll crack on with some chores, and I'll see you on the next video. If you've enjoyed this or it's been of any use to you, please hit that like and or subscribe. I don't like to say it, but it does help. And above all, remember, keep on dabbling. Catch you on the next one. Well, in the interest of fairness, folks, I thought I'd give this burner and windshield another go. So I took it in the house, and I can confirm that at room temperature, 1 fill will actually boil the full kettle with a little bit of meths left over to spare. So you can use it as intended by doing a fill and boiling a kettle, but you can only do it when it's reasonable weather and not as cold as it was today. So that sort of changed my view of the stove, and it's not too bad after all.